Welcome to our Sunday morning meditation service. The word for today is "My hope leads me to deepen in faith." Faith is how I begin to bring my hopes to life. Like my other divine gifts, I always have faith. It's up to me to decide how to use it. When I choose to believe that peace will blanket the earth, love will heal our hearts, and joy will bring harmony to the world's people, I am using the power of my faith to bring those visions to vivid life. So this would be a good one to put on a refrigerator and say this every day to help the planet. Okay, we're going to do a call and response. And I think Louis is appearing. We're ready, Louis.
Whoa, there's so much craft fair going on. It's always distracting.
Mm-hmm. I sense the stillness inside of me. Be still and know God. Calling me, a voice trying to guide me. Loving me, loving me. I feel the presence within me. Be still and know God. Calling me, calling me. I sense the force that begins me. Loving me, loving me. I join the oneness around me. Be still and know God. Calling me, calling me. I feel the love around me. Loving me, loving me. Be still and know God. Be still and know God. Calling me, calling me. stillness side of me. Be still and know God. Calling me, calling me. A voice trying to guide me, loving me, loving me. Be still and know God. Calling me, calling me. I feel the presence within me. Be still and know God. Be still and know God. Calling me, calling me. I serve the force that begins me. Loving me, loving me. I join the oneness around me. Be still and know God. Be still and know God. Calling me, calling me, calling me, calling me. I feel the love around me. I feel the love inside of me. Loving me, loving me. Be still, know God. Be still and know God. I feel the oneness inside of me. Loving me, loving me. Be still and know God. Be still and know God. Be still and know God.
Good morning, everyone. I will begin today by sharing with you a true story. Many years ago, I saw Sylvester Stallone interviewed on television. At that time, he was a superstar. He's still somewhat of a star, but he's not quite the superstar he was back then. And he had just completed shooting a movie, one of the Rambo movies. He did a series on Rambo. The interviewer was talking to him about these different elements he was involved in, because he had gone from being a playwright, actor, to a producer, director, and actor. They got to a certain place, and Stallone shared this story about when he was in Egypt in the desert shooting his latest Rambo movie. He had hired a number of camel herders and to carry the gear. They had all the filming gear and things that they use and need had to be taken to the different locations. So he had all this going on, and they had run into some difficult weather while they were there. Things like, they had every kind of strange thing take place. They had sometimes the clouds were so dark hanging over the day that they couldn't shoot the desert scenes he wanted to shoot. And then there was another day where they had rain, and then they even had a sandstorm. So Stallone tells this story that he asked his chief camel herder one evening, he asked him, "What do you think the weather will be tomorrow?" And the camel herder said, "The weather will be what pleases me." And Stallone said, "What do you mean?" The camel herder said, "Well, the weather will be what pleases God, and what pleases God pleases me." I share this story because it reveals the two levels of faith. And I want to talk about faith today. Let's begin with this particular definition of faith from the Bible. You can read this in the book of Hebrews, chapter 11, verses 1 to 3. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. For by it the men of old received divine approval. By faith we understand that the world was created by the word of God, so that what is seen was made out of things which do not appear. Out of this definition, we have what people believe is a more refined definition of faith. And you can find that in the unity principle, unity's principle that thoughts held in mind produce after their kind in manifestation is one of those principles. Unity has a number of different ones that deal with the concept of faith. And then you have very interesting concepts coming out of Esther Hicks's work, which is divine intentions, or holding an intention. And I think I got it down here. She had a book, I believe, it was called The Law of Attraction, which deals with all of these elements. But all of that comes out of the idea of faith. And while these are effective to a certain degree, there's still something we need to understand in order to become full faith enlightened beings. So I'm going to cover that this morning. I hope I get to cover it all. I may have to do the second part of this next Sunday. But obviously, Sylvester Stallone had faith. I mean, he became a superstar. And his first movie was Rocky. And at the time, he had shopped that movie for 2 years to the Hollywood studios without any luck. And in the meantime, he's out of money, he's broke, he's doing jobs. Every now and then he'll get a minor role in a movie, but and he was at the point where he was thinking to himself, you know, I've got to see this through, no matter what. I've got to see it through. So he hung in there, and finally, a new studio, was new at the time, United Artists, offered Stallone $500,000 for the rights to his screenplay, Rocky. And they said, well, to get, when a studio buys the rights to your screenplay in that regard, they own the rights. They will do whatever they want to do with that movie. But Stallone made a stipulation that he's not going to do the deal unless he stars in the movie. And he was totally unknown at the time, and they thought to themselves, oh, no way. No, sorry. No, we can't do it. And so he held out for a period of time, and finally United Artists came around and said, okay, you can do the lead in that movie. And of course, it became a sensational hit, made more money than you can even imagine. Even the studio was made by that particular movie, Rocky. So it wasn't that Sylvester didn't have faith. He had tremendous faith. But we have to look deeper at how faith actually operates, because we're at that point where we have to provide a demonstration of God consciousness beyond anything that has been demonstrated so far. So, so let me share this PowerPoint with you. In Matthew 21, that's chapter 21, verses 21 and 22. And Jesus answered them, "Truly I say to you, if you have faith and never doubt, you will not only do what has been done to this fig tree, but even if you say to this mountain, be taken up and cast into the sea, it will be done. And whatever you ask in prayer, you will receive it, if you have faith." Now, this whole thing with the fig tree, he was with his disciples and came upon a fig tree. It was the season for there to be figs on that tree, but that tree was barren. And so he cursed the tree, and it withered. The very next day, the disciples marveled and said, "What power is that?" That's really off the story that I want to share this morning, but that's a metaphysical, symbolic truth of the consciousness that does not bear fruit on a spiritual plane. is barren and will remain barren because it has missed the reality of its divinity in season. It has missed it, and it will go barren. So, but the rest of it is to be considered. If you have faith and never doubt, what you ask in prayer will be done for you. I can tell you this, when I was first on my spiritual journey, I had just been involved with the Association of Research and Enlightenment. I came out of a very depressed period of my life at that time. Let me see, I demonstrated faith really amazingly in the early days of my spiritual journey. I had written a screenplay with a writing partner named Tom Everett. And as unlikely as it seems, all that we did was we wrapped it, put it in an envelope, and sent it to the biggest agency in New York City at the time. And then Everett and I came upon these people that were chanting in this apartment downstairs from where Everett had his apartment. And we saw these people in really new cars pulling up. Some of them had drivers. Chauffeurs pulled their cars away, and these people were going into this apartment downstairs. We had come down to get the mail, and we saw all these people coming in, and then I asked one lady coming in, I said, what's going on? And she said, oh, this is our spiritual chanting session that we have. And I said, what is that? She said, well, it's Buddhist chant, where you chant and hold the chant for the things that you want to have happen in your life. And I said, oh, can anybody come in and sit in? It's no. No, it has to be special invitation from somebody who actually is already in there. So after everybody went into this apartment, Everett and I got a tape recorder, and we went and sat by the door, and we copied the chant that they were chanting in that room. This is the kinds of thing. There's faith in just doing that. I mean, you got to credit me with some faith for just doing that. So we got the chant on tape, went up to Everett's apartment, and we chanted that chant for the screenplay to become, successful. And we continued the chant the following morning, and the phone rang. And it was General Artists Corporation, the biggest theatrical corporation in New York. The screenplay came in an envelope to them. No agent, nobody, no known person bringing it in, just out of nowhere. We get this call from Paul Block, this agent, who says he wants to have a meeting with us about the screenplay. He's read it, thinks it's phenomenal. So we're just beside ourselves with having produced this whole thing with faith. Now, I can tell you the whole story about what went on in there, and it's really interesting, but I haven't got the time to do that. Just want to say that that was one of the demonstrations of faith that I had. I had plenty of demonstrations of faith. You want to read my book. But in any case, Norma and I were writing. She wasn't writing, she was typing. I was writing, and I wrote only in longhand. There's no computers in those days. And it was about 1 or 2 in the morning. We had this basement apartment in New York City. And I was still working on this play. At the time, Hamlet was the name of it. It became titled Crow. And she was typing on this table that we had taken off the street, which was a telephone cable table. It's one of those big round cable tables that you see sometimes. You see telephone companies have them on the back of the truck. Well, when they're empty, they leave them out on the street for a while, and somebody comes and pick them up. So we picked one up to use as a table in our apartment, but it was like, it wasn't stable at all. And she's trying to type this script on that. And I said, you know what? Let's go get a typing table. This is 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And she said, well, where? There's no stores open. I said, no, we're going to find a typing table out on the street. This is a true story. You can take it for whatever you want to take it for. But I said, in those days, by the way, people used to put furniture and stuff out on the streets. And sometimes it was really good furniture. Today, you can't even do that because the trucks, these secondhand shops and things like that, they tour it all the time. You can't find it. Like in those days, you go out on the street, you could find pretty good furniture. Anyway, so we went out on the street, we went to these very upscale apartments, and sure enough, there was a pile of stuff out there, and in that pile of stuff, there was a typing table. It had been painted, the legs and the top, but it was a beautiful typing table. It still, had everything on it. You could raise it up or down, back and forth, tip the table on it. It was amazing. It was a typing table. Out of nowhere, I manifested a typing table on faith. I can give you many strange examples like that in my early days, how I lived on the concept of faith that way. Unfortunately, it bottomed out on me. I was never able to really bring off a writing career. I mean, I used the chant, and I was religious in doing it. Chanting. Didn't happen. Nothing. It finally everything went south on the whole writing scheme, everything. Even Shoot Down the Sun, the best spaghetti western ever written, was never done. And then, you know what? That was before Clint Eastwood came out with Fistful of Dollars, honestly speaking. So it never happened. My writing career never took off. And it was kind of like depressing. And at the time, I was into dreams, and I asked for a dream. Said, let me know, why can't this writing career of mine take off? And in the dream, there were 3 sections to it, but one main section had 8 bags full of dirt blocking my doorway. And that was the answer. The entrance. The 8 bags of dirt were blocking my entrance into my apartment. So I didn't really think that there was that many problems that I had had to be cleared up before I could have a writing career. But obviously, maybe the cosmos did see things that I wasn't willing to own up to. But I think over the time, I think what it had to do with was my ego. I had come so far on the faith thing. I had a huge ego in the whole concept of spiritual manifesting and things like that. And I had an opportunity, and I think this is what it meant. This is what I was being told. But this is something that took place before I had that dream. I had a producer pick up my screenplay, Up Against the Wall, Mother, at General Artists Corporation. I went in to talk to him, talk about it. He wanted an opening chapter of the screenplay written in a certain way. He wanted the main character to be unaware of his power. And the screenplay was about a Nazi Superman meets a Don Quixote type character, somebody who has dreams of things and they're revelations to this character, but are they real? Anyway, that was the main thing. I'm off my talk here. I've got to get into what I want to share with you, because this is a spiritual lesson. How can I conclude this here? I went away to write that screenplay. I went on a trip. I think I got $10,000 paid. Norm and I went to a resort in upper New York State where I would write the greatest screenplay that would ever be written, which I retitled Far Beyond Fetched. It was a comedy with a lot of interesting drama in it. And we were there for the entire summer, and this producer who lived in New York City was trying to get in touch with me. My agent was trying to get in touch with me, and I would have none of it. I didn't want to be bothered because he probably wanted to say things and enter into the writing of it, but I knew it was going to be the greatest screenplay that was ever written. And that was where my ego was at the time. And when I came back to New York City in the fall, my agent said, "You are just," he used different language, "the stupidest human being I know." But anyway, so we got in touch with Bernie Hershenson, and Bernie Hershenson didn't even want to talk to me, didn't want to see me, didn't want to even look at the screenplay. But my agent convinced his people, because he had a big company, convinced his people to at least read the screenplay. And so he had read the screenplay, and he told my agent he wants a number of changes in it. And I said, this is what I honestly said this to my agent. I said, just change a word of that screenplay would be an act against God. And my agent said, you can pick up the other $10,000 in escrow for the rewrite. You know, I had a big percentage coming on the end when they made the movie, but I said, no way. No way. I said, that screenplay is amazing. It's a magnificent screenplay. It can't be messed with. It was crazy true. I regretted it. You want to know what happened? I'm not going to give you a spiritual lesson today. Maybe you'll get a lesson from this. About a year later, I did rewrite the entire screenplay for $1,000 for Bernie Hershenson. That's all I got for it. And that's all I ever had. I was so broke that I did it. I ate my pride. I called him up. He said, well, I'm not interested right now. I said, well, you know, just whatever you want, I'll do in the screenplay. Anyway, where the hell am I in this talk? I've got a PowerPoint for you that is, this PowerPoint from the Master of Life is explaining something about faith that many people overlook. So can we have this next PowerPoint? No, that's not it. The next one, please. Hold it. Go back. What is number 4? I need number 4. No? Nope. Okay. Go back. Go forward. Keep going forward. Oh. No. Go forward. You have anything else? All right. Here's what happened. There it is. Where did that come from? How many people do I have to fire to get something done right here? All right. This is what I was looking for. Mark 11, 22 to 14. 22 to 14. It's backwards. All right. It's 22 to 24. All right. Heads are going to roll for this. And Jesus answered them, "Have faith in God. Truly I say to you, whoever says to this mountain, 'Be taken up and cast into the sea,' and does not doubt in his heart, but believes that what he says will come to pass, it will be done for him. Therefore, I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." This line right here is an all-telling line. I tell you, whatever you ask in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. You see, most of us are practicing faith without that level of belief. We don't have the understanding of that level of belief. Somebody wrote an entire book titled "Your Faith is Your Fortune," based on that truth right there. And what is presented, I don't have the time to give you any of the PowerPoints from that and be able to explain it, but maybe, okay. What this writer did was, he went to discover in the scripture how the element of faith actually is derived from consciousness of the individual so totally, because the individual's true level of consciousness is divine. It is God. And one has to enter into that level of consciousness in order to sustain or gain belief in the prayer that is being offered. And so he goes back to the name of God, which was given to Moses. And I'll show you that if you can find it. It's in Exodus. We had it up there. Just travel around in there and see if you can come with Exodus. There you go. Okay. Thank you. You can read this in the book of Exodus, chapter 3, verses 13 to 15. Then Moses said to God, "If I come to the people of Israel and say to them, 'God of your fathers has sent me to you,' and they ask me, 'What is his name?' what shall I say to them?" God said to Moses, "I am who I am." And he said, "Say this to the people of Israel, 'I am has sent me to you.'" God also said to Moses, "Say this to the people of Israel, 'The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, and thus I am to be remembered throughout all generations." You've heard me talk about this before, and I'm just going to have to leave it there because we're going to meditate. But I'm going to pick this up right where we are next Sunday. If you can get here, you'll be able to hear the whole insightful thing about how to develop faith that actually works. There's probably not a person here that hasn't thrown in the towel on the idea that there is something as definite prayer being answered. Everybody seems to think that, some prayers are answered and some aren't, and people have all had experiences. Why isn't that prayer answered, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Next week, I'm going to share with you why prayer, when it's not answered, is not answered, and why we have to learn how to use faith to become one with God. So we're going to meditate together, and take a couple of deep breaths. As you release your breath, release any cares or concerns you may have brought with you. Just bring your consciousness to this truth. Gently focus on this truth. I am in you, Jesus said. You are in me, Jesus said. I am the truth, the life, and the way. Be still and know that I am God. I am in you. You are in me. I am the truth that will make you free. Be still and know that I am God. I am in you. You are in me. I am the truth, the way, and the life. I am the way of true life. Be still and know that I am God. as we go forth from this meditation to those places we occupy in time and space. Let us go forth with a greater determination to be awake in the process of living. For this opportunity in every moment, we give thanks. And to this we say, Amen. We will take an offering for unity now. And while we're preparing to do that, the people I'm saying this for don't need this, but you people here need this. It was either Mike or Heather that three people were involved in this PowerPoint thing. I came in late this morning, and I wanted to add that PowerPoint from Mark to the PowerPoints I had already given and had already typed up on Friday. So I gave it, Heather was taking care of the craft fair in Fellowship Hall, and Santisha said, give it to me. So I gave it to Santisha. And she said, if you see Mike, tell him to come in. Because somebody has to type it, and somebody has to feed it into the computer. And it's not their fault. I joke about it, and it's not their fault whatsoever. It's mine for being so tardy in getting the thing out there and getting it done. And probably, so my apologies go out to them, but that's only because they laugh at stuff like this themselves. They are so connected to the divine. You know, I'm honored to be able to work with such enlightened people. Okay, with that said, those of you watching online, we're showing you here the different ways you can donate to Unity of Boulder. If you really have received some insights from the truth we share here at Unity, then be sure and send something in to support the work here. Everyone here can bring to mind or bring into your hands that gift you want to make to Unity of Boulder, and let's bless it with this divine offering prayer. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, because I give. And so it is.
I am in your sacred light. I feel the radiance of all life. My heart is open. Creator, let me know your will. I am in your sacred light. I feel the radiance of all life. My heart is open. Oh Lord, let me know your will. I am in your sacred light. I feel the radiance of all life. My heart is open. Creator, let me know your will. Let me know your will. Let me know your will.
Join me now, please. We dedicate this tithe received to the will and the work of the Spirit of truth, the Spirit available to each of us, the Spirit that joins all of us. We dedicate this tithe to the victory of the Spirit of truth. Amen.
Sale is taking place.
The craft fair is taking, no discussion today then, right?
No,
All right.
in Fellowship Hall. Well, you could do it back there if you want to do a discussion.
No, that's okay. We'll just let them go to the craft fair.
It is amazing. You got to walk around and see what these wonderful items are, and that's in Fellowship Hall. And I guess that's it.
Okay. I'll see you all next Sunday.
And you
if not
still are
before.
open to join choir. We're meeting at 6:30 down in the middle room this Thursday, and it's not difficult singing. It's really going to be doing the carols for Christmas Eve. So come and enjoy yourself. It's really a great group of people. Thank you.
All right. Have a beautiful day.